2020 is a bicentennial period commemorating 200 years since God the Father and his beloved Son, Jesus Christ, appeared to Joseph Smith in a vision. It is also a time when some LDS church members are struggling with a faith crisis. The reasons for their faith crisis varies. The most oft-stated reason is learning about issues in church history that are new to them. Church leaders acknowledge they have made mistakes in the past by limiting access to church history. In 2016, President M. Russell Ballard told Seminary and Institute teachers, quote, "Gone are the days when a student raised a sincere concern and a teacher bore his or her testimony as a response intended to avoid the issue. It was only a generation ago that our young people's access to information about our history, doctrine, and practices was basically limited to materials printed by the church. Our young people lived a sheltered life. Our curriculum at that time, though well-meaning, did not prepare students for today, a day when students have instant access to virtually everything about the church from every possible point of view." In a 2019 book titled Bridges by David B. Osler, he wrote about a woman who responded to a survey question about trust. She replied, "Trust? I have a very hard time trusting the church because of the many times I was lied to about church history." The author of the survey said, "This statement can be hard to hear, but I have heard it again and again." In a nutshell, in our day, church members are seeing many changes and challenges. Church leaders in years past sheltered us from the thorns, thistles, briars, and noxious weeds of church history. Today's church leaders are going to great efforts to be open about the history of the church. They have published the Gospel Topic Essays, the Joseph Smith Papers, Saints, the Story of the Church of Jesus Christ in the Latter Days. Some church members decide to leave the church because they no longer believe it is true. Other church members are staying in the church in two different ways. One, relying on their deeply rooted testimonies. Two, relying on their testimonies but are studying and learning for themselves what's up in church history. Then there are others who are in the midst of a faith crisis. They're asking themselves many questions. They are in pain, experiencing a dark night of the soul. They feel they can't trust the spiritual foundation they built over many years of faithful devotion as a follower of Christ and as an active member of the church. I know what a faith crisis is like. I know something of the feelings that come and create a dark night of the soul. Feeling betrayed, lied to, and deceived opens the door so anger and revenge can move into your personal space and displace peace. Some turn to God for help. Others turn away from God. I decided to turn to God and found Moroni's teachings that you receive no witness until after the trial of your faith is true. My trial of faith became a priceless experience that I now cherish. I found that persistent fasting and prayer is the key to opening the channels of communication with Heavenly Father. Then prayerfully using selected resources to clear the cognitive dissonance that was brought on by issues in church history. In the days and weeks ahead, I'll present videos with resources I used. It is my hope that they will be useful to you. In the meantime, if you would like to contact me, here is my email. It is also found below. I'm not a novice when it comes to experiencing and surviving a faith crisis. However, I am a novice when it comes to making videos for YouTube. This is my first effort. With that said, I am open to any ideas that you might have. I'm also interested in finding others, like myself, who have been sidetracked by things like the CES letter and other sources that are the foundation of a faith crisis and successfully navigated their faith crisis. I'd like to hear your story. YouTube has many former Mormons telling their stories. I respect their right to express their loss of faith. Now we need to hear from those who have had an increased faith because of their faith crisis.